Hi there, I'm Bob with JD Squared. Thank you for tuning in. This is another video in our tutorial series for GCmaker. Episode 2, we're going to be talking about part properties. Now, before you go, shoot, I don't want to watch that. You do want to watch it because I'm going to show you how they tie in to GCnester, which is the nesting program. And I think it's pretty revolutionary the way I've got it figured out. Hopefully you'll like it. I'll show it to you, and then you'll see how part model properties tie in with the Nestor program. Before I do that, though, I posted episode 1 on the homepage, and I noticed that if I go to the file, the menus right here, they were going to the left off the screen. I don't think it hurt anything, but the fact of the matter is you couldn't see them. Well, I found out that was a Windows thing, and I got it to flip it, so now you're going to see them all the time. Apologize for that. Well, anyway, let's dive into the part properties. Let's go ahead and open a part real quick. We'll open this one. I've been doing a lot of testing on this part, G-code generation, animator, stuff like that. Anyway, here is your part properties over here. If we go to modeling, this is the property manager. If we click on it, this is where you decide what properties do I want to see. Let's go ahead and raise that up a little bit. And these properties can be applied to other applications. So let's just say, for instance, we have the name property, which you see right here, right? We also want to maybe add a part number property, so we could add that. But let's say we want a user-defined property, maybe customer name or something like that. So you're probably thinking, why would I want to do that, to have a custom property in the G code? And it has to do with the way I've decided to create the nesting software that complements GCmaker, and it's called GCnester. So to better show you that, I'll fire that up in a minute and you'll see what happens. But anyway, the Part Properties Manager is nothing more than a way to create what properties are going to be exported to the G code. So if I come along and I have name and then I pick property, I could go ahead and hit OK right here. Now you have a part number. So we could assign part numbers to it. Let's go back to the Part Property Manager. This time we're going to add a custom property. And right down here is where you do it. So it's going to be called cust name, because when you do a property, it's a lot of times you want them short. Now I can put a space between it, whatever. And right down here is where you can pick what type of property is it. Is it a text? Is it a number only? Is it a decimal number? Or is it a Boolean, yes or no? Add the custom property because we want it to be text, right? So now we have that. If we say OK, you now see customer name over here, which means I could come along and say Acme is the customer. So that is your part properties, creating custom properties that are going to show up here in the general section. Now here's where you're going to pick the units and all for the part. You're also going to pick the material. In episode 1, we added copper, so now you're seeing the option of copper. Color, same thing. Pick your color. I kind of like light gray. It works real good for me. Anyway, that's all there is about the property manager. I'm done teaching you about that. Now, let me show you why that's important. I'm going to go ahead and fire up GCnester right here. I got to size it so you can see it better. And this is the program that I'm working on to allow us to do nestings. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. I've got a case of OCD, so I don't want to see the other program. There you go. This is GCnester. And what it did is it looked through this folder and it looked, let's go ahead and right click on this program. That's the part, by the way. Let's right click on it and open the text editor. This is the program right here. And here's the header. Well, there's our custom property right there, Acme. Notice we have other custom properties: type, size, process length. Now, process length is the entire G code and part combined. So if you have a square cutout like this one over here, well, if you have a lead in on both sides that come in at an angle, that's going to increase the process length. So the process adds up the length of the part and any G code that falls outside of the part. That's your process length. You'll see why that's important here in a minute. Now, here's our Acme that we have created, our customer property. The beauty of this is your engineer, whatever, calls out to the floor and says, hey, I want you to make these parts for the Acme customer. And we could put a part number in here. Let's go ahead and do that real quick, actually. All right, I want to close this out. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. That's a waste of time. You get the idea. We could put a customer part name right here, and you could go by, hey, find Acme and the part number. This is the name of the program. Now, GCmaker does not require it to start with an O like a lot of NC programs do. It could be the name of a program, such as this one right here. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on GCnester. I'm just trying to show you how Part Properties Manager ties into it. So up here, we say, okay, we got a customer Acme, and it looks like there's 3 parts that are the same size for this customer. I could go right here and we could sort, but I could click on the funnel there, say I only want to see Acme. Okay, there's that customer's parts. That's one, that's the other, that's another one. Okay, so now we want to process these parts. Now, the way GCnester is going to do it is different than other nesting programs. The nesting programs that you normally see, what happens is you literally tell it, I want this part, this part, this part, and it creates a nest, and then it creates the G code for all of the elements in that. I'm not doing it that way. And the reason is I want the engineer or whoever is the product manager to be able to call the floor and say, I need 2 of part number 123 for Acme or something like that. And he goes, yes, sir, I'm on it. Now, the only way that could happen would be if we had a G code file that had data, metadata in it, such as process length, size, and stuff like that, so that you'll be able to actually load it. So what this nesting program does is it doesn't work at the part level, it works at the G code level. You'll see what I mean here in a second. So let's go ahead and say that we want all these parts. Let's go ahead and move them over. Now, this one here, maybe this particular part, we want, I don't know, 3 of them. This one here, we want 4. Now, I could use the up-down buttons here, but we'll put 4 in, right? Okay, so that's the parts that we want to make. This is the gap right here. How much gap do you want between the parts? I'm not doing common line cutting in GCnester. It's a nightmare. What I was going to do later, if you want common line cutting, I was actually going to add the ability in GCmaker to bump parts end to end so that it will know that it's a common line cut, but you would bring it in as a part that has been tooled as a common line multi-part part, if you know what I mean. Anyway, here we go. So I'm going to drag this over. So we've selected our parts. Down here, you could put in your stock. Now, what raw stock length means, hey, if I have a full length of stock, how long is it? Typically, structural steel, for instance, is 20 foot long. So you would put 240 inches. Now, over here, I can add. If I add, it's going to default to 240. But let's just say we had a 48-inch section of this angle iron already cut out there. Then what's going to happen is it'll use that first and then automatically add the nest to the next length of material, which, since we haven't given it another one, it will go ahead and pull in a brand new stock of 240. So let's go ahead and create our nest. There you go. This is the first nest. It only got, I guess, enough room to fit one part because that part is 36.086 inches long and it's 48-inch was our stock. So we have a drop of 11.914 inches. Go to this one. Look at that. That's the full length. That is your entire nest right there. And the way it works, let me go ahead and I'm going to move all this way over so I can show you much better right here. Essentially, what we've done is this part right here, I can't highlight it, is a complete program to make that one part. It's the exact same thing if you went to the machine and said, make me that one part. Well, what happens is the nester is going to send the code to the machine, the XR12, and it's going to cut out this part because you've set the origin to start cutting on this end right down here. After it cuts that part, it's going to reset the origin to this part, just as if you had loaded only that part. And then it's literally going to march right on down this to this end here. Now, I haven't got it 100% complete, and the reason is Mint has restart. So let's say we're cutting this part right here, and for some reason your power went out in your building, and you want to be able to restart at this hole. Now you've already done all of this right here. Well, Mint has the ability, load the program, and you can restart right here. Well, if we're resetting the origin for every part, how does Mint know that this is the new origin? So what we're doing is we're adding the ability in Mint to store the last origin part that either you set or the nester set. So that's the idea of GCmaker or GCnester, and that's why part properties become pretty important all of a sudden. It's all about convenience, folks. We don't need the operator to have to call your CAD CAM designer in your company and say, hey, can you make me a nest, all this. He can literally make the nest at the machine. All he's got to have is access to the folder that has the part in it. Let's go ahead and right click on this right here, open file location. Let me drag it over. All he's got to have is access to this folder. Now, if you notice, there's a GCM solid. That's because this 102 or 1002 program has the solid saved with it. So when we animate, we're going to be able to animate in a little while here, GCnester, that's part of the 20% I got left to do, and you'll actually see it process this part as a quick verification. Anyway, that is all there is to talk about part properties. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I see you. I won't because I'm on the wrong end of the camera, but I hope you tune in for episode 3. You have a great day. Appreciate you. Goodbye.